Welcome to your yoga practice. It is Wednesday, July 2nd, and so friendly reminder for anyone who has the time and ability, you can stay for an extra 10 minutes or so of meditation. Today we'll work a little bit with meditating on the Kleshas, the hindrances or obstacles to happiness as viewed through the yoga philosophy, and some metta, loving kindness. If you have a strap and block, you can also have those available. And then to begin with, let's go ahead and roll onto our spine so we can keep our feet on the ground and come onto our backs. Take your time getting there. And when you do, open your arms out wide and, work with the space that you're in. So that might look like bending your elbows, or maybe you need to bring your arms up overhead a little bit more. And a couple breaths of just trying to soften. So if you're holding in the shoulders, if you're tensing the back muscles, see if you can soften them onto the ground. Keeping the feet on the ground, the knees might move away from each other or towards each other. Keeping in mind that this practice is just for you, that it really doesn't matter what it looks like. You can use these 30 minutes to just practice paying attention to how things feel and really being open to finding ways to let the practice work for you. Full breath in, always in through your nose if you can. And then out through your nose or mouth. Take your time breathing in. And when you feel full, top it off. So breathe in a little more. Do that again. And let it go. All right, can we let the head be a little heavier on the ground? In slow motion, let your legs start falling towards the left side. Do this as slowly as you can so that your left hip and gluteal muscles get a deep tissue massage. Really slowly shifting the weight onto that left hip. The right hip lifts up. We're bringing our spine into a twist. Doesn't matter how much of a twist. And then try to let that right leg get really heavy. Imagine you could stretch your right hip all the way down to the bottom left corner of your mat. So stretching through the hip flexors, feeling this twist, feeling your chest stay open. And then slow motion, bring your legs back to neutral. Both feet and hips on the ground. Pause for a breath. Notice your right side and your left side. And when you breathe out, slow motion, let your legs start falling towards the right side. Go nice and slow. Keep breathing. Notice the feelings of that right hip starting to root into the ground a bit more as the left hip lifts. Keep the torso long and open by imagining you're dragging your left hip down to the, from this perspective, bottom right corner of the mat. And take a couple breaths. Breathing, bring yourself back to neutral. Let's give ourselves a hug, either arm on top. And then if your arms are resting on your chest, try to lift them up so the elbows point up at the sky. Hands could be kind of on the shoulders or as close as you can get. You could stay here if you're already feeling a stretch through the shoulders. Otherwise, release your hands from the shoulders, bringing the tops of your forearms, tops of your hands towards each other. So our arms are coming into eagle pose. Some people might be able to bring fingertips of the lower hand into the palm of the upper hand. And then try to tap your fingertips on the ground overhead. You might not make it. I'm several inches away from it. Just trying to find a stretch through the shoulders. Softening. And then releasing, bringing your hands back towards your shoulders. Notice which arm is on top. And then take a big breath in, opening your arms out like a cactus. Breathing out, give yourself a hug, opposite arm on top. Elbows pointing up towards the sky. Soften the shoulders and head, heavy on the ground. Maybe you can bring the tops of your forearms and hands towards each other. Maybe on this side, you could bring fingertips into the palm of the top hand. Just see what's here. And then stretching, like you could stretch the arms up overhead. Give yourself a couple breaths, looking for a stretch in the shoulder blades. And then release, opening the arms out wide. Take a breath and let it go. All right, here's where, if you have blocks, you can sit up and grab those. And then you might want to look at the screen for just a second while I set us up. And then I promise we'll get moving. We'll put one block on its lowest setting. Our kind of rib cage, shoulder blade area will go on that. Another block on its lowest setting, our head will go on that. So getting the lower block right around the shoulder blades. Other block under the head. And then we'll do that same eagle arm stretch. Now, if the eagle arms just doesn't feel good to you, if that bind doesn't work, then you could also just breathe here with the arms stretched out wide. This could feel really supportive. And then you could also give yourself a hug. Notice which arm is on top, elbows pointing up to the sky, and then rock side to side like you're in a hug embrace and rocking side to side. So giving ourselves a little bit of a massage in this way. You can stay here. Or once again, bring the tops of your arms towards each other. And then stretch your arms up overhead and then bring the elbow down towards your navel. So moving the shoulders in this way. Open your arms out wide. Take a big breath in. Breathing out, give yourself a hug with the opposite arm on top. Lift the elbows to point up at the sky. And then rock side to side. It's like you're pulling your shoulder blades off of the mat and then settling them back down. Giving ourselves a massage. And you can then come to stillness. See about those eagle arms, bringing tops of the forearms and hands towards each other. And then from wherever you can go, try bringing your arms more up overhead and then lower. Work with what you've got. I'm kind of smushing my face when I try to reach the arms up overhead. Another breath. And then bring yourself to stillness, opening the arms out wide. No pain here. If the blocks are too much, just come off of them. We'll just be here for a few slow, full breaths. Breathing here, I'll share another description of the Kleshas from The Secret Power of Yoga by Nishala Joy Devi. I really like the way that they write about these. So there are 5 veils that cover the light of the divine self, obscuring it from recognition. When we become aware of them, the veil dissolves one by one, and the divine light within is seen again. Dissolving the 5 kleshas, or veils, hindrances, brings forth the radiance of the divine self. So first we're exploring avidya, whereas yesterday the description I read described it as ignorance or lack of knowledge. Here it's described as innocence of our divine nature, and I thought that felt better. Innocence of our divine nature creates a fertile field where the dormant seeds of the other 4 veils take root. So first we have to become aware of our divine nature. One more breath as you are. And then if you're on blocks, you can prop yourself up, roll off of them. We could set the blocks towards the top of the mat if you like to use them there. And go ahead, come into tabletop. And in tabletop, we can draw some circles. Maybe press your hips back through child's pose for a breath or two. You could move your spine like a wave through cow and cat and child. Just a couple more breaths here of moving any way that feels right. Maybe noticing how your rib cage feels after that back bending if you did it over the blocks. All right, then we'll find our tabletop, tuck our toes, lift our hips. There's downward facing dog. Give yourself a few breaths there. And again, any movement could feel good. Give yourself any movement. And maybe swaying the hips a little bit more dramatically, stretching out that side body. So on Wednesdays when we do kind of the heart opening, that works in all directions. Side body, forward fold for opening up the back heart space, and then of course back bends, opening up the front heart space. And when you feel ready, walk your feet up to meet your hands, forward fold, soften your knees. Maybe try grabbing opposite elbows and swaying a little. Let the head get as heavy as you can. On an inhale, let's release the hands, lift up halfway, squeeze the shoulder blades together, look ahead. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, rise all the way up, reaching to the sky. And exhale, hands to your heart. Stand tall for a couple breaths. You might scan the environment that you're in. Notice your feet on the ground. Interlace your fingers, push the palms away from you, and stretch the arms up overhead. Reach up a little higher, and on an exhale, hinge over to your right side. Maybe you step that left foot back just a little bit. Big breath in. Breathe out, come back to center, stepping the left foot up. Inhale, push your arms up. Exhale, hinge over to the left side. Maybe step the right foot back a little. Full breath in. And breathe out, come back to center, dropping the arms down. On an inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold down. Step your right foot back in space. If you have a blanket or you like to pad under it, you can do that. Then we'll drop the right knee. And if you have blocks, you could bring them under your hands to help prop you up. Keep in mind, we can always scoot the left foot and leg out to the side if we want more space for our torso. Now we'll try to press the hips forwards and down. Lift your heart. This might already be enough. Option to bend your right knee. And if you have a strap, you don't have to use it. Maybe you loop it around the back ankle. It's always a little tricky. In these shorter classes, I never know if the juice is worth the squeeze on dealing with the strap. But if you have it, then you could hold the strap in both hands. Find yourself into a back bend. Again, it's all optional. Either way, wherever you are, you're getting a nice stretch through that right thigh. Lifting up the heart, finding a bit of a back bend. Let's stay for a couple more breaths. And releasing the strap if you used it, lowering your right toes carefully back down to the ground if you lifted them. Let's go ahead and lift the right knee now, and you can rock forwards and backwards. Maybe even straighten the left leg a little. So when I straighten the left leg, I'm liking to bend the right leg, so we're in kind of a lifted half splits. Wonderful. Now, plant your hands. Step yourself back to plank pose. Breathing in, you can say to yourself, I am strong. Breathing out, lower your knees, lower all the way down to your belly. Point your toes back. Let's lift up our chest by pushing our hands into the ground. If this feels like too much on your low back, lower down a little bit. Focus on pulling the heart forwards. Maybe lift your chin. One more big breath. And lower down. Tuck the toes. Press yourself to downward facing dog. You could take a flow through chaturanga if you want that. You could also settle in for about 3 breaths. Let the head get heavy if you're settling in. From your down dog, let's try lifting the right leg up to the sky, bend the right knee, lift it, and then open up your hips. Stacking the right hip on the left. Good. One more breath here. And then look forward, step or swing that right foot to the pinky side edge of your right hand. Pivot your left foot down so the heel is pretty much in alignment with the front foot, and then cartwheel your arms up. Warrior two. Breathing here, make any adjustments you need to. You don't have to keep a super wide warrior two. You could bring the feet a little closer together if that feels better. Looking over your right fingertips, and then on an inhale, stretch the right palm up to the sky. Big breath in. And then exhale, cartwheel your arms off to the right side, extended side angle. So right elbow could rest on the right thigh. You could stay here, or maybe today you want to try weaving your right arm under your right leg, wrapping your left arm around behind your back. Maybe the hands will meet. You might have to bend the right knee a little more to get there. Maybe they won't. If you play with this on your own, you could also be using the strap. We'll just be here one more breath. And then go ahead and release your hands to the ground. Pivot to your runner's lunge. Big breath in. Nice. And exhale, step the left foot up, forward fold. Hang heavy for a couple breaths. Maybe wobble the head, shimmy the hips. On an inhale, make your way all the way upright. Exhale, hands to your heart. Pause and notice, how's the body feeling here? Wonderful. On an inhale, let's reach up. And exhale, fold down. Planting your hands. Now we'll step the left foot back in space. Maybe put a little pad under the left knee. You know where we're going. So we'll drop the left knee. If you have blocks available, you can bring them under your hands. And then try bending that left knee. Pressing the hips forward and down. Lift your heart. This might be where you want to stay. Or you could grab that strap, try and weave it under your left foot, ankle area. You could try holding the strap with both hands. So then we're getting a little bit more back bend. As always, remember, it's choose your own adventure. If you're doing something because you can, but it doesn't feel good, you might not do it. We can use our yoga practice to feel more liberated, not more confined by the ego and the need to do the most all the time. Couple more breaths wherever you have decided is best for you to be. All right, breathing. Let's slowly bring the left toes to the ground if they're not already there. Releasing that strap and setting it aside if you used it. Then you can lift your left knee off of the ground and move forwards and backwards a bit. You could straighten the right leg and bend the left leg, and then switch it. One more breath. Okay, and then let's plant our hands, step the right foot back, top of a push-up. What do we say? I am strong. Breathing out, lower all the way down. Point your toes back. On an inhale, find your cobra pose. Lift it up as high as feels right. Might not be high at all. One more breath. And then lower down. Tuck the toes. Find your downward facing dog. As always, you could take a break, or you could take a flow, or you could settle in. If you're settling in, try to let the head be heavier, but the wrists be lighter. Chest pressing towards the thighs. All right, on an inhale, let's lift the left leg to the sky. Try bending that left knee, lift it, stack the hips, so stack the left hip on the right. Three-legged dog with a little twist for a little more heart opening. Press your chest towards your right thigh. One more breath. And then step or swing your left foot to the pinky side edge of your left hand. Passing through lizard pose, then we'll pivot our right heel down, cartwheel our arms up, warrior two. Make any adjustments you might need to your feet. Full breaths. And on an inhale, let's reverse our warrior, lifting the left palm up and back. And breathing out, cartwheel your arms off to the left side, extended side angle. Find place to stay. Maybe you want to try weaving your left arm under your left leg, wrapping the right arm around behind you. Maybe your hands find each other. Maybe not at all. Give yourself another breath. Full, slow breath in. And release it. Bring your hands to the ground facing forward. Inhale. Exhale, step that right foot up, fold forward and down. Hang heavy for a couple breaths. Take some movement if that feels right. And on an inhale, make your way all the way upright. Exhale, hands to your heart. Breathe here. Wonderful. Let's come back down to the mat. And again, if you have a block, bring it with you. And maybe you watch one more quick demonstration since we're working with our props and toys a little bit. So we'll put the block really similar to last time, under the rib cage, between the shoulder blades. This time the option is nothing under your head. You can bring your hands back behind your head and then drop yourself back into a supported back bend. Now, if just looking at this tells you it's a bad idea, then maybe you don't do it. You could also use a blanket or a pillow, something softer, less dramatic to support you. You can also just lie on the ground with your arms outstretched or your hands behind your head. That's still a back bend, especially compared to slouching at a computer all day, which is what I know a lot of folks do. We don't even have to be at a computer to slouch. Why, we could do that anywhere. So however you settle in, let's try to open up the heart and breathe fully. If you want to add a little core work in, this will probably work better if you're on a firm block rather than a squishy pillow, but you could inhale, lifting up, taking a little crunch. Exhale, lower back down, finding the back bend. Option to do that a couple of times. And then we can try switching up the breathing pattern. So in the back bend, take a big breath in. Exhale, crunch up. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, crunch up. One more. And back bend. Okay, we can lift up to remove that block from underneath us. My favorite thing after doing a supported back bend, coming onto the ground, opening your arms out wide. You could keep the feet on the ground for another couple breaths, as long as that feels right. And let the spine, the muscles of the back just soften onto the ground. And then try bringing the soles of your feet together, letting your knees fall away from each other. Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle. And then let yourself settle into any resting pose that feels good. So maybe you stretch your legs out long. Maybe you keep your legs as they are. Letting your body rest. So the kleshas, or the causes of human suffering, we could think of them as veils that cover the light of our divine nature. And the first of the 5 kleshas or veils is avidya. Innocence of our divine nature creates a fertile field where the dormant seeds of the other veils take root. Avidya encourages identification with the ever-changing rather than with the inner stillness of the heart. We dissolve these veils through our yoga practice. Notice if there's tension anywhere in the body that you might be able to soften. Just inviting softness in gently with no criticism or critique if it doesn't come as fully as you think it should. Recognizing the divine within, we can dance through the world with joy. Give yourself a stretch. Softly wiggle fingers and toes. As you feel ready, you can make your way back up to an easy seat. Notice how the body is feeling the area of the heart space, rib cage. If it's time for you to go, then thank you so much for being here. If you have time to stay and practice a bit of meditation, then please do join me. You might sit on a folded blanket or a block to give yourself a little lift. And we can rest our hands on our lap, maybe bringing index finger and thumb tips together, or sliding the index finger down to the root of the thumb. Lowering your gaze or closing your eyes. Again, inviting the softness in, but with no criticism. If you notice tension, that could be tension in the mind or the body. We're just opening up to the idea of softness. Notice the breath here. And shift your attention to the idea that breath propels life. Each time you inhale, there's an inflow of life's energy entering your body. And with each exhalation, observe energy leaving your body. Notice that moment's hesitation, the space between the two breaths, between the two worlds. Continue for a few more breaths, invoking an attitude of gratitude for this life-giving breath. And now we'll shift towards a metta loving kindness or compassion practice as a tool to help us be more connected to that divine inner light. So you can repeat these words in your mind if they resonate with you. Breathing, softening. May I be free from ill will towards myself and others. May I be free from ill will toward myself and others. If you notice any tensing or hardening, negative thought patterns around it, that's fine. We'll practice saying it again. May I be free from ill will towards myself and others. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be filled with loving kindness. Any thoughts, emotions, sensations are welcome. We've got room for it all. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be well. Everything is welcome here. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be peaceful and at ease. Noticing anything that comes up as you say to yourself, may I be peaceful and at ease. May I be joyous. May I be joyous. Breathing. May I be joyous. Softening any tension that you can. May I be of service to the greater good. May I be of service to the greater good. May I be of service to the greater good. Now breathing, ask yourself, where is my ease? Where is my ease? Anything that comes up is a response, that's fine. Where is my ease in life? Where is my ease in my mind? Where is my ease in my body? And breathing, let's practice open awareness for a couple moments. So we'll try not to get swept up in thoughts, but you can allow them to just pop up and dissolve. Or maybe picture them like clouds just moving through the screen of your awareness. Everything is welcome here. Where is my ease? Recognizing the divine within, we can dance through the world with joy. Let's deepen our breath. And start circling your wrists. You can move your fingers like a wave as you move your wrists in circles. And then try going the opposite direction. And let's shake out the hands and wrists. And bring your hands to stillness, just pausing. Notice any sensations you might feel in them. And let's bring our hands together in front of our hearts. Offer yourself a bow for your time, your efforts. Bow to these ancient teachings that they may help us live life with a bit more ease. And if you'd like to close with an om or a sigh, let's take a big breath in. Deep bow of gratitude. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll be back out in Floyd County tomorrow, but I think we've got a strong internet signal solution. So I'll see you then.
Thank you. Have a great day.